Burnham, head coach of New York Yacht Club American Magic, challenger of the 37th America's Cup, and winners of the preliminary regatta event in Villanova 2 weeks ago. Tom, can you tell us a little bit about today? We noticed a new foil on the starboard side of Magic, also some modifications on the foil on the port side of America. Which were the main conclusions of the day?
Yeah, today was a good day. It was, first of all, we had to delay a bunch today because it was quite light, but it turned into an amazing day out there. It was really great, and here we are back at the dock at 7:30 at night, so almost sunset here, so it's been a really productive day. Yeah, a few changes in the foil setups today, and so we're just out doing some testing, a bit of straight line and a bit of maneuver testing, and that was the real goal of the day, so it was a really productive day today.
When talking about the long speed tests, both upwind and downwind, which conclusions did you get?
Sometimes we can get different conclusions about which foils like which boat speed. So some foils like to go faster than others, and some like to go higher and slower. So we're just trying to figure out the sweet spot of each of the different foils and try and figure out the balance of which one will go best around the whole racetrack. And then that's part of what we're looking for in the maneuvers as well, is to not just get the straight line performance, but also the maneuvering performance of these foils. So it's an exciting time when you're testing our own foils and get to do all these types of tests with two boats. It's really great.
So when sailing on port tack, yeah, when using the new foil on Magic, we realized that Magic was a little bit faster and higher on port tack when sailing upwind, but then when they were going downwind, Magic looked a little bit slower, but much lower and doing a better BMG. Would you agree with that?
I'm not sure I'd 100% agree with that. I've got to see the data. You know, it's all pretty tricky sometimes when we're out there, and you know, some of the time what you might be seeing that's part of what of what you might think are lineups are also just getting aligned and getting set up for the speed test. So it kind of depends on when the segments are being taken out of the testing, whether we're lining up or actually in the tests. You know, one of the things that's tricky about sailing on a boat with foils when trying to get lined up for testing is how hard it is to get the boats in the right spots, because when it's such light air, you don't have a whole lot of freedom of movement, of going high and slow to let the boat catch up. So there's a lot of times when we're off of optimum angles just to get the boats in the same lineup. So it's a bit hard to tell. It'll be interesting to see what the data shows us tomorrow morning when we look at it all afterwards.
Then talking about the last 45 minutes in which the training was a lot more focused on the maneuvers, on the tacks and the jibes, we noticed that Magic was a little bit more consistent and America struggling a little bit, especially when tacking from starboard into port, into the foil number 2, that it's the one with the smallest area. Do you think that foil is still going to be an option for the AC75, or do you think you have crossed the limit on the shape of that foil? Yeah,
all these foils are an option, and you know, again, we need to look at all the data, because it's not just about performance in the tacks or just about the performance in the straight line. It's all around an entire racetrack. So, yeah, we got to go back and look at all the data and then make our decisions based on what we think the winds are going to be next year. And there's so many factors into this that that's what makes it fun and exciting. And sometimes we end up with a whole bunch of information, and it just makes the decision even harder sometimes. So it'll be interesting to see.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Last question. Going back into the regatta in Villanova, even though you were sailing one design AC40s, and we know that the America's Cup is going to be sailed in AC75 with different designs and different boats and different constructors, how important is it for you as a coach, the result, in order to build confidence around the team, in order to build momentum, in order to consolidate the core sailing team on the boat, and to continue to push forward?
Yeah, it's really great. It was awesome. The guys performed really well in the regatta, but not just the sailing team, but the entire team performed really well at that event, and it was a good experience for the whole team. And as you say, it helps bring the group together and the sailing team, but it also helps energize the entire team. It's really nice to see, and it's validating that all the hard work we put in. You can see the long hours we put in on the water trying to catch up and get the group to gel and bond, and when it pays off in an event like that, it's really satisfying. But we all know that, as you said, the event next year is going to be in custom boats and custom foils, and so all these decisions and all this information we're gathering on days like today are so important. But at least we know that when asked, the sailing team performs well, and so that's a really good step in the right direction.